Well. You filthy animals, it's 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, the only time that matters. Just kidding. All the other time zones matter, of course. But you know what that means? It means that from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, we're live, baby. Go ahead and Spartan kick that like button.
This is Sparta!
Do it for me. I know many of you guys are like, Rolls, you haven't released any new content in the better part of a week. What have you been doing? Are you working on something grand? I'm working on things. As it happens, I am currently editing my last couple review videos before I start working on something that's not a knife review. Of course, I ended up having more knife reviews that are going to be rolling in within the next week or two anyways. I knew it. I was like, you know what? I'm so ready to work on other types of content. And then, you know what happens? These companies, they know. They're like, oh, what about this one? Oh, you're done doing knife reviews for a minute? What about this one? What about this one? Oh, it's bad. I can't help it. Is it a problem? Maybe. Maybe it's just the kind of content that I'm just going to end up having to do the most of. Guys, welcome in, and a big shout out to the first person in the chat. We got Cat Scratch. Thank you for being a channel member. We got Marco not far behind him. Jen Miller in the house. Ed B in the house. Wicked Dreams. Stonewall. He says, what's up, y'all? Catching the live from a fire assignment. Hey, there we go. I used to do some firefighting. Wildland firefighting, not domestic, it was wildland firefighting. It's different. Maybe you're doing some wildland firefighting too. Let us know. Are you tuning in? Are you tuning in from the front lines? Are you working hang crew right now? Are you working engine crew right now? Are you a smoke jumper? Firefighters know what I'm talking about. But I'm curious, Stonewall. You've piqued my curiosity, good man. Let me know where you at. What fire are you on? Sterling Stutes, welcome in. Welcome into B Shady, another channel member in the house. He says, evening, Rolly. Thanks for doing this live. Absolutely, man. It's Wednesday. Wednesday is the OG live stream time for me. I remember when I first started to do live streams, they're like, well, how are you going to pick your time? Because everybody has this schedule. I'm like, no one let me know about the schedule. No one's scheduling around me. I'm just going to pick a time that works, and I'm going to do it. And if people want to show up, that's great. That's great. And then you guys started showing up. And for the longest now, we've had live streams, 8 p.m. Mountain, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 p.m. Central, or 7 p.m. Pacific, every friggin' Wednesday. Or at least every Wednesday where, I actually have my shit together. Music might be a little bit too loud. We're going to keep it rolling. What's up, B Shady? Good to see you, man. Welcome into Henry G. We've got the Pawns in the house. Let's go. Fred the Lug. What's up, Fred? Good to see you, man. Fresh 1117 in the house. Good to see you, man. Chris Valdez. What's up, dude? We've got Ron Dobbins. Ron Dobbins in the house. Cicero says, I missed it. Well, I guess I'll bedazzle my beard then. Y'all behave whilst I pack my toes with peanut butter, lazy boy, beer, and have the dog take it from there. I don't know whether to feel bad for your dog or, give him a high five. You know what? We'll give him a high five. We'll give your dog a high five. Dogs love peanut butter. Why not? The Bond says, whomever dropped the beat over someone plucking on that pipa is a lo-fi genius. Dude, I pick some random music and I hope that it works. I added some extra music in there. I do like lo-fi. Lo-fi in the evening is nice and subtle and mellow to me. It's not everybody's cup of tea, right? And I get that. But with music, you will never make 100% of the people happy. You absolutely will not. It's not possible. I could pick a guitar melody, like a metal melody, and people are like, oh, it sounds like the Les Schwab commercial. Is he selling Ford trucks today? You're never going to make everybody happy. That's it. That's A-okay. I like having music in the background because it offers a cadence to the monologue, and essentially it's just me talking. I read your comments, but it is still just me talking. So I like having something in the background. It helps keep things moving for me. It helps keep the blood pressure at an acceptable level. I hope so anyways. Let's go. There's more people piling in everywhere. Hey, shout out to Help with Gadgets. Good to see you, man. And then, oh my goodness, legend in the house. What's up, Top Dog? Good to see you, brother. 30 months as a Spartan. 30 months. 30 months. You're almost at the 3-year mark. Top Dog might be, he's got to be, I would say, probably top 2 oldest channel members. Good to see you, Top Dog. Glad you could make it tonight, man. Welcome in. Let's go. I'm still saying hi to everybody. Ed B. Did I say hi, Ed? I think I did. If not, what's up, Ed? Good to see you, man. Sometimes it's easy to forget who I haven't said hi to yet. Ron, what's up, dude? He says, I ordered the Liangma V2 integral knife, or the integral knife. I'm not sure I've seen that one. We might have to check it out here during the live. John Blackman, welcome in, dude. Good to see you. Thanks for being a channel member. Let's go. I'm missing stuff. I know it's Sassy and the Beast. Good to see you. Welcome in. Ed B says, I wish I could watch, but my YouTube schedule is quite full. There's a lot of us. A lot of channels going live. Some people are crazy and they watch 2 different lives at the same time. I can't do that. I have a very singular attention span. I can focus on one thing real well. Just one thing real well. I can split that attention, but then it's I can just I can focus on 2 things kind of okay. So those of you that watch multiple live streams at the same time, I truly don't know how you do it. Truly. Oh, man. Okay. Let's go. Vavelsky, welcome in. Says, never been to Sheets. Never been to Sheets. Where is that? Sheets had free dogs. What? Free dogs? Sign me up. Jim Miller says, isn't Oreo Dave number 1? So Oreo Dave reached out to me a while ago and said that he was getting rid of all of his YouTube memberships, but he didn't want me to take it personally. And listen, guys, just so you know, I know the people who have followed this channel for the longest time. I don't hold it against anybody. If you get to a point in your life where you're like, you know what, I don't want to pay to be a YouTube channel member for this guy. I totally get it. So technically, Oreo Dave is not a channel member anymore, but he is still a long time subscriber, follows the channel, someone that's very near and dear to my heart as far as the YouTube knife community goes. You guys might know of my old hat that I used to wear with the old channel logo on it. Yeah, over like the majority of my videos, I'm wearing that hat. He gifted that to me. He had it made by Forrest Hanks for me, and I wore that hat until the stains took on their own color. But technically, Oreo Dave is not a channel member any longer. Kodiak Edge, good to see you, man. What's up? He says, Rollshambo from Chicago. Chicago. I am far away from the beautiful Windy City. At least I think it's beautiful. I've never been. I'll be honest, I've never been. I've visited, the airport in Chicago. Does that count? Probably not. When you have a layover in Chi-Town, I don't know if it truly counts or not. I haven't visited the East Coast and the easterly states very much. Spent most of my time in the Pacific Northwest and in Colorado, and now back to the Pacific Northwest. Visited, the easterly, I should say, the easterly states and the northerly states a couple times, but I haven't been. Seth Neighbor says, it's not that beautiful. You could pass. You could pass. You take the direct flight. Oh, man. B Devious says, I still like the old logo. The old logo, you know what? On accident, I queued up my live stream intro like a month or two ago with my old logo on it. And I was like, you know what? We'll let it ride. Why not? We'll just see what happens. You know, I like it. It was a logo that I made in Photoshop. It's nothing terribly special, but it is near and dear to my heart. Hey, Ron Dobbins, everybody. Ron, welcome in. Thank you for being a channel member.
This is Sparta!
Spartan kick the like button for Ron, everybody. Definitely appreciate it. Fresh says, still want a Liang Ma cuff 3.5, but been on a heavy American kick lately. So been on the back burner. Man, I've been on a heavy American kick for the last couple of years. And I got to tell you, it is expensive. Knives like this, knives like this, it's expensive, man. Shoot. Even knives like this. And it's not even like, I'm not even scratching the surface. You know, as far as American made knife collections go, mine is still in its baby phases. Baby phases. Come on. Baby phases. But I will say this. It is fun to get into collecting American made knives because it's almost a different sector of the community. So like there's the knife community, and then you like the circle just keeps getting smaller based off of, you know, each particular part, I guess you could say. The American made knife collecting community is a very specific part. And some of them are really, like, a lot of people that focus on that are really awesome people. But then there's the kind of toxic side of it too, where they're like, you know what, let's all huddle up on this video with this Chinese made knife and absolutely bomb on it. Let's just go into comment. Like, I don't get it, guys. It's like, if I hated Dutch ovens, I wouldn't seek out videos about Dutch ovens just to talk shit about it. I just wouldn't do it. And yet people are like, I hate this. Let's watch a video on it and leave a nasty comment. Like, it blows me away. And that's how I know that, you know, YouTube is pushing my videos out to people that are apparently new, because they see it and they're like, you know what? I don't like that thumbnail. Let me click on it just to watch just enough to leave a nasty comment. Maybe he'll read it and rethink his choices. Probably not. My hearing's not too good. I don't listen very well. But people are funny that way. Absolutely. All right. Fresh says 98% of my knives damn near illegal in Chicago. Plausible deniability. I won't tell if you don't. Ed says Chicago makes their dogs just like their pizza. Shitty. Don't say that about the dogs. And for the record, I do love a good Chicago style deep dish. Although technically I prefer Detroit style, like the 8-corner Detroit style square pizzas. Don't hate me. It is what it is. I know. New Yorkers are all crying right now. There's, what about the New York pizza? I'm not a pizza connoisseur. I just like pizza. Fresh says, dude, I carried the mini goblin today. That's funny. The mini goblin is awesome. I love this knife. And you know what? Like, I was shocked because I jumped on this knife when it was recently. And when I say recently, I'm talking like 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. Jumped on it because I hadn't seen them being released very frequently. I was like, y'all gotta have it. And then they just kept releasing mini goblins, and now they're staying, like they're very, very well available. And part of me would be lying if I didn't say that I wasn't a little bit disappointed that they didn't just, like, you know, do a limited drop, because that always feels cool, right? When you get in on something and it turns out that they did a limited amount, then it feels special. But apparently they looked at the demand and they said, you know what? Let's make a lot. Let's make a lot of them. But for all of you out there who look for exclusivity in your knife collecting, which is it's kind of a shallow take on it, because the longer you keep your knives, the more exclusive they become, because people buy and sell and they move on, and then they lose them, and then they damage them, and then they forget that they have them, and they pass them on to a cousin, brother, mother, sister who doesn't use them, and whatever. But the longer you hang on to them, the more exclusive they get. I had a microtech Cypher Mark 7, and I bought it while it was discontinued. It was one of the last available ones. And I'm kicking myself for it, because it ended up in a knife sale, and I should not have sold that knife. I shouldn't have sold it. And of course now Microtech has the new version Cypher, which looks great. It does, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And all of a sudden people are like, oh man, Mark 7 Cypher, would love to have that. If I just held on to it, even if I had looked to have sold it later, it would have been worth far more now than when I sold it a few years ago. So I guess my point is that for those of you who get in on a knife release, especially an expensive one, and then you find out that the exclusivity factor just isn't there, just hold on to it. It will be there eventually. Patience is the key. And then you will eventually have something that nobody else has. And then if you decide you want to cash out, you can. But expensive is expensive. American made knives are expensive. This is one of the knives between me and creating more non-knife reviews. Really looking forward to this video. With that being said, guys, I love American made knives. I love knives made in China. I love knives made all over the world, because good knives can be made anywhere. All right. The chat jumped. Hold on. I'm trying to catch up. Me and those freaking monologues. Guys, I'm going to do something kind of cool today. Something that I haven't really done in the past. I was thinking about it. I was like, how nice would it be to start opening up limited availability to non-channel members to the Only Spartans Discord for the pocket check. So what this would look like is that I would basically in the chat, I would pin a temporary membership link. And so as soon as that person exits out of the Discord, their membership ends. So it would basically allow people to get in, share some pocket checks, give us some more activity, give people an opportunity to experience the membership life, the Only Spartans life, and potentially build the community from there. I think it'd be really nice to have more participation in pocket checks, more participation in the community that I'm trying to build over at the Only Spartans Discord. I think that would be great. So I'm going to try that tonight. I'm going to open it up, temporary membership. What that means is that when I post the link, you'll be able to go to the Discord, but once you leave, it ends. So you can't go back. So like you exit out of the window, it's gone. So it's going to allow people to post some pocket checks. I think that'll be fun. If people abuse it, don't abuse this. Okay. Don't make me regret this. I try new things. And sometimes I think about them after the fact. I'm like, you know what? That might not be all that great of an idea, but we'll find out. We will find out. So let's go ahead and do that now. So this is going to be an expiring link. It's going to expire after 1 day, and it's going to grant temporary membership. It means temporary members are automatically kicked when they disconnect unless a role has been assigned. So anyways, we're going to give it a shot, specifically for those of you who want to post some pocket checks. The other idea I had was, well, what if I just created an open community, or I just opened up the community entirely? But then I was like, then I might actually have to start paying moderators. Yeah. Ian says no. And Jim says, I think Ian objects. Ian, change is good, my friend. And by the way, welcome into Ian Coates. Ian Coates in the house. He says the SK labia.
This is Sparta!
Oh, Spartan kicked that like button for Ian. Good to see you, Ian. Welcome into GeoKnife. What's up, GeoKnife? He says, I don't even know what a Mark 7 cipher is, so the grail aspect is lost on me. It's a microtech Mark 7 cipher. The Mark 7 cipher was featured in one of the John Wick movies. I want to say it was John Wick 2 or 3. Yeah, which one was it? Anyways, you know what? I'll show you, Ian. The Mark 7 cipher. And they had a Wharncliffe version. That's the one that I had. And it's not the same as the microtech cipher that's out now. Let me screen share. Boom. Okay. Mark 7 cipher. This is the one that I had. And mine was a different color. Mine was like a black and green. But I had this version with the Wharncliffe blade. This blade is a collab between DC Monroe and Microtech, and they also had the what's it called? The dagger style version was the one that they had featured in the John Wick movie. But these are now exceedingly rare, and no, this is not the same as the new Microtech ciphers that are out now, but it's discontinued. And amongst the fans of out the front automatic knives, it's very, very much well sought after at this point. So this is a Mark 7 cipher, if you didn't know. Kodiak Edge says, German-made best knives in the world and Italian Extrema Ratio are the best in the East. I don't know, man. You know, like, when I think about, you know, what country makes the best knives in the world, like collectively, like, what do you base that off of? You know, because if we're talking quality, if we're talking true blue quality, that's one of those things that it's hard to argue, because some people might be like, oh, the finish on the handle scales. Some people might say, oh, the level of the tolerances, the tightness of the tolerances. And some people might say, well, you know, it's about the overall design and utility. And some people might talk about heat treat. But, you know, for example, Italian knives in general, like, there are a few exceptions, but Italian knives in general have a softer heat treat, which means that they're generally harder to get as good of an edge on, and they don't hold that edge for as long. Now, I'm not saying that's every single Italian company. There are a few who do a higher heat treat based on customer demands. But if you were to go and look at, like, I remember I said this in my MagnaCut video. I mentioned, I said, you know, Italian knife makers are not doing this right. And so many people got offended when I said that they weren't giving us harder heat treats on MagnaCut. So many people got offended. They're like, well, blah, blah, blah. And then I just started looking it up, and I went to the manufacturer websites, and all over it was MagnaCut 60 to 62. Like, what are people getting offended about? Like, I don't know what to tell people. A lot of Italian-made knives are really great everywhere else. Things like the fit and finish, things like the quality feel on the handle scales. But by and large, there's more Italian knife companies that do a softer heat treat than not. That is my issue with Italian companies. With American-made companies, American companies are addicted to slab-style handle scales. And then there's China, who gives you a huge mix of everything. There's some amazing Chinese manufacturers with quality and what they bring to the table and the value. But then there's also a ton of Chinese manufacturers that just make cheap knives. So it's really hard to say the best knives in the world are made here or here or here, because I can almost always give an example of something done in that country that's prevalent that is not great, at least in my opinion. So there you have it, the rant of the day. Marco says the barbarians at the gates. Ian loves it. Ian does love it. All right. David V, what's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome in. Sierra Rick says, Rolls DLT is dropping the mini Arius on July 24th. They're on page 2 on newest arrivals. Ooh. Might have to speed up the timeline for my knife sale. Sean, what's up, man? Good to see you. He says, I'm in for a pocket check. Right on. I want to see more people's pocket checks. Like, I'll be honest. It's selfish of me. I want to see more pocket checks. I am wondering, though, based on the reaction of the channel members in the chat right now, if it's probably not a good idea. I'll come up with something. Like a public pocket check channel. Maybe we'll do that on Instagram. Something else that I was playing with, since a lot of people have Instagram that don't have Discord, would be to have people post an Instagram picture on live stream days and then use a hashtag like Rollshambo live pocket check or something like that, or RSB pocket check. I'll have to come up with a hashtag, and then we can just, during the live stream, check Instagram for that tag and check all of the tags. That could be fun. And then we could keep the Only Spartans Discord, for those channel members specifically. We'll see. Ryan Johnson says, can add a free roll with a separate pocket channel as the only access. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. The one thing that I'm nervous about is that when you let everybody in, all of a sudden, like what I would hate to happen is to all of a sudden be scrolling through a pocket check and then find an inappropriate photo. Like somebody's feet pics. I'm just kidding. You guys can post all the pictures of your toesy woesies that you want. All right. We're working on it. We're going down. There's still good people to say hi. What's up, Roman? Good to see you, dude. Welcome in. Sierra Rick, did I already say hi? What's up, dude? Ian says, is the Cypher like the Anthem but for microtech? I don't know if I would go that far. The Cypher is the Cypher Mark 7 is an older OTF, but it's not like their oldest OTF. They, on the secondary market, the Mark 7 Cypher specifically is really well sought after for the OTF side of the community right now, though. David says some have been hitting better heat treats, but only recently. I mean, you guys don't have to take my word for it. Like, for example, let's do Fox Knives. Fox Knives, huge knife maker. So let's see. And you know what? I got to hand it to them. At least they're showing what their Rockwell target is. A lot of knife companies won't do this because they don't want the heat. They don't want people to come down on them if all of a sudden they don't agree with whatever their Rockwell target is. But for example, you can find this on their website. Let's do this. Folding knives. Let's go. Hey, that's kind of a cool knife, the Pacifico. Let's do this. MagnaCut plate steel. Let's do this. MagnaCut. Oh, gangster. This is the knife that I actually want to check out. Bob Trezzola design. Come on, Bob. Hey, here we go. Fox Knives 62-64 on the original gangster. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe Bob Trezzola got to him and he said, you better not be soft with my knife. You better not be soft. All right, cool. Love to see it. Bob Trezzola, original gangster. Awesome. Let's check out another one. What about the Pacifico? 62-64. Perfect. What about the Kronos? 62-64. Perfect. The Anzu? 62-64. Perfect. Okay, so Fox is doing it right. Great. Love to see it. What about Giant Mouse? Giant Mouse Knives has not been known for their high heat treats. Giant Mouse Knives, HRC. that's an older knife. I don't know if we should look at that. Let's do all knives. Can I look for? They've got a knife called the Nibbler. I like that. The Nibbler. The Ace Nibbler. 20 CV, but they don't mention what the Rockwell target is. Bummer. Are they going to tell me? They might not. They might not. They very well might not. Ace line. Did they mention on any of their knives? But this is what I mean. Like, a lot of companies just don't want the heat. LMAX 60. It's not the best. Not the worst. What about... So there's Fox knives. There's also Viper knives. And then there's MKM, which is basically Fox and Viper and Lion Steel. Blade steel. Magna Cut. CPM Magna Cut. What's your HRC? Tell me. Knives company. Animal materials. Yeah, let's just pick a knife. Random one. We'll do tactical. Why not? We'll pick the MAGA models. The that is a crazy looking knife. What steel is that? N690. The crazy knives that you find when you go looking for them. Gentleman collection? Sure. I don't recognize any of these. The Bologna. Okay, that's looking good. M390, sweet. Sweet. M390, 59 to 61. Son of a gun. We want to see 60 to 62 because whenever you see a range like that, you know that that's the range because 59 is the low end and 61 is the high, which means that most of the time, most of them are going to be coming in at 60. That is a good looking knife though. Enhance. Enhance. You got to hand it to him. That is a good looking knife. Love the look of the carbon fiber. It's a nice looking clip point. We got jimping here near the back. That looks like a top mounted. Is that a top mounted pocket clip? Hot damn it is. I wonder, that better be accessible. I kind of want to check this knife out now. Damn it. I'm going to get away from this before I have to start paying tariffs on something. Ian says, everyone got offended, meaning Fox and Giant Mouse owners. Listen. I am happy if they... Oh, I just realized. Of course that's a good looking knife. It was designed by Jesper Voxnays. Makes sense now. A lot of people want to be validated in their opinion, though. And I get it. I wish that I could tell you that I was different. Really not. David V, thank you for the $5 super.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Says, good evening, Knife Famine Roll. Dude, thank you so much for the support and welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. I'm so far behind on the chat. Hold on. I'm just going to scroll all the way to the bottom. David V says, some Fox knives are made in China. Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. Aaron D2 says, Viper's low HRC M cut. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Richard S says, Italian M390 is even worse than Magna. You know what? Like, it is what it is. Ruckus Rampage, what's up? Says, Vox and Anso are awesome. Anso just left Giant Mouse just recently. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I haven't kept up with them recently. Sierra Rick, what's up, man? He says, Rolls, didn't we have a conversation about knife companies not revealing heat treat in the description? Yeah, it's really hard to trust when a knife company does not give that information. And it's not, ignorance is not an excuse, is what I'm trying to say. Ignorance is not an excuse because the knife companies know that this is something that enthusiasts care about. They know that people want to know what's the Rockwell target. So when I see that a knife doesn't have that information somewhere, it makes me wonder why. It makes me wonder why. Like, what are you trying to hide? You know, you're happy telling us that, you know, we've got a certain type of carbon fiber, that we've got a certain type of steel. So you can't tell me that it's because people don't care, because people do care. Some people might not care to the highest extent. Like they might look at it and be like, oh, 59, 61, M390, cool, don't care. But people care. So when they don't release that information, it makes me wonder, what are they hiding? Why are they not releasing this information? I want to know. I'm curious. Got to stay hydrated. Dolomite, what's up, man? He says the brand name Viper just sounds like they would have softer steel. Yeah, what's another one? Well, so check this out. MKM Knives, or Maniago Knife Makers. I believe that's what that stands for. MKM. It's the collaboration between Viper, Fox, and Lion Steel, if I'm not mistaken. And so they have some of the same knives. Like, for example, they have the Anzu because it's part of their everyday knife collection. Let's do this. Anzu. I'll use the Anzu as an example because when I was looking this up, Fox Knives, Les George, Anzu, they were directly it was directly in. Let me zoom in for the people in the back. Remember when we looked at this knife on Fox's website and they said 62 to 64? You go over here to the MKM website, 58 to 60.
Epic fail.
So which one do you believe? Do you believe the Fox website? Do you believe the MKM website? Who's reliable here? Who's reliable? I couldn't tell you. I'd love to. Couldn't tell you. 58 to 60. Maybe it's because it's black PVD. Maybe it's the coating. Maybe it's the coating that is doing that. What if we were to, move over to this non-coated one? 59 to 61. A little bit better. Little bit better. It's the same freaking knife, guys. Who do you trust? MKM is Fox. Fox is MKM. Maybe they just changed their ways and they MKM never updated that information. I don't know. Paul Mills, what's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome in. B. Devious says Craig Brown with a great heat treat on his Magna Cut of 60 to 61. Yes, I still own both the Mini FSD and Cortex X. Hey, listen, I confirmed it. And just like you, I still have my Cortex XL. I love that knife. I do love that knife. The one thing that the Cortex XL has going for it is that it has an extremely awesome cutting geometry. It's one of the deepest, sexiest hollow grinds that I've felt on a knife, period. It is the epitome of hollow grindness. And that's why it hurts so much, right? Because if Craig Brown had taken that and been like, you know what, we'll just do 62 to 63, I would have been over the moon about that. Because then I would have been like, you know what, you match Spyderco's heat treat. You match Spyderco's Rockwell hardness. I can get behind that. If it's good enough for Spyderco, good enough for me. But no, he's like 60 to 61. And I confirmed it. Which is disappointing, but it's not like the disappointing thing is that the edge retention isn't as good as it could be. It's still a perfectly good steel. It's just not as good as it could be. And I don't know why. Ryan Johnson says, assume the lower of the spread. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you kind of have to, right? One side of the company says 62 to 64. The other says 59 to 61. You know, how do we tell the difference? Somebody with a Rockwell indenter tester is going to have to check it out. Fred says, I would trust the lower number. I was getting you guys all hyped on Fox knives. I know it. All right. Jim says, baby crab steel. Yep. Bob Tism says, Anso has awesome solo stuff, but pricey. Yeah. Richard says, that's when you just go and buy a ProTech. So here's the funny thing about that. I was just saying that it's hard to trust knife companies who don't advertise what their Rockwell hardness is. ProTech is one of those companies that does not actually advertise what their Rockwell target is. But they've been third-party tested to be in like the 63 to 64 range. That's one of those things where like I want to talk to somebody over at ProTech and be like, you guys are missing out. Like, you have a feather in your cap that you're not taking advantage of. You should be letting the people know that you actually go to these lengths to hit certain numbers. No. There's a lot of really cool Italian knives out there. My thing with Italian knives is that I just want them en masse to like raise the Rockwell target on everything by a point or two. En masse. Double D, what's up, dude? Welcome in. It's like putting a Corvette engine in an Italian body. Italian knives are beautiful. They are gorgeous. The Italians, they know how to make a beautiful product. All right. Bob is made out of recycled plastic. All right. I'm off course. Let's go ahead and get to some pocket checks, guys. Let's do it. You convinced me. The channel mods and members have convinced me we won't open up temporary access to the Discord. What we'll do instead is this week I'll release an Instagram tag, and we'll have people post their carry photos on Instagram with that tag, and we will search for that tag, and that's how we'll get everybody's pocket checks during the live stream. But for now, let's just go and check out the Only Spartans Discord. All right, hold on. We've got to scroll up. I'm scrolling. Come on. Okay, here we go. Starting off the day with Nick T. He's got the CKF Evo 4.0 and the High Grain Designs DeVille with Westinghouse micarta scales. Very nice. I like that Hank too. That Hank is plaid. I'm a big fan of plaid. For me, if you want to know what I carried today, in the pocket today, we'll switch to the main camera. Boom! In the pocket today was this bad boy. This is the 15V Para 3 in Rips Garage Tech 3D milled and contoured titanium diamond pattern milled scales. It also has the matching titanium Rips Garage Tech pocket clip. I have not done my video on this scale set yet. But you can get both the clip and the scales under $200. This is American made, 3D milled and contoured titanium scales and clip. And this is so freaking good. It is so good. It's really good. I love it to pieces. Let's get back to the pocket checks. Vivelsky coming in hot with one of my favorite knives and one of my least favorite knife companies. Back to the screen share. Hold on. Screen share. Boom. Vivelsky. He's got, of course, the Machine Wise Mojave. And, of course, the Benchmade Bug Out. Not a huge bug out guy. I don't own one, and I don't know if I ever will. But the Mojave is easily one of my favorite, if not my favorite knives released this year. I'm going to say that again because there's always someone that's like, well, what about this other knife? And it's like a knife that was released 2 years ago. As far as knives released this year are concerned, The Mojave might be my favorite knife released this year. There might be something in the works there. Anyways, that's a fantastic photo. I love the way that the green pops off of that wood, like the way that the moss pops out of the photo. That's great. I think I know what you did there with that photo, and I gotta say, I approve. Really well done. Yeah. Great shots. Great shots. Perfect. This is an awesome photo. There's a lot of texture in this photo that I can really appreciate. From a photography standpoint, I really appreciate those photos. Well done, sir. The Ponds, he's got, of course, the Spyderco and Dellen K390, the Olight Arkfeld and Warrior Ultra, and the bestechman Good Boy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? I'm going to call somebody's dog on accident. That's a nice carry, man. The K390 Indela is one that I definitely feel like I need to get my own version of at some point. I'll be honest, the blade shape on the Indela, like, I know that is probably a slicing machine. It's always just been that the Indela blade shapes have never really done it for me. I know, I say that, while I'm carrying this guy, but it is what it is. Nice carry, sir. Thank you so much for sharing. Day's coming in hot with the Vosti Porcupine. Potentially a budget knife of the year contender, if not, I mean, it's a heavy contender for budget knife of the year. He's got the Lynch Northwest pocket clip right there. He's got some eggs over easy, right? He's got the eggs over easy in the background. Just kidding. He's got the flowers in the background. Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Gas station knives with the Rosie XL. Ooh, look at that. Look at that nice milling on those handle skills. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate some fine step milling or some fluted milling. It just looks nice. And then of course we got the nice background right there with the pen. Very well done, sir. Looks like he's got some other pens there too. Kevin Smith, which I feel like I should know which Wii knife this is, but I didn't buy one. I don't own one. I should know what that is. I should know what that is. David V, he's got the Vosti Corgi with the, I'm gonna take some people off when I say this, with the reverse Tanto. This is the Trek lock, or their button lock, reverse Tanto Corgi. Super symmetrical. Matt D, ooh, he's got one of my favorite knives. He's got, of course, the Koenig Mini Goblin. He always helps me out. Is the Koenig Mini Goblin, the Focusworks Eric's pen, and the bandana from Kukui, and always the trusty Zippo. Matt's always one of those people that takes fantastic photos. Like, you guys bring your A game in the pocket check. I'm over here like, here's my cell phone shot. Meanwhile, I saw this earlier and it cracked me up. And I can't help it. Ed, this is funny. Ed with the Boker, it's a Boker hot dog Kalashnikov. What do they call it? Like the auto glizzy. But it's pictures like this that make it so that, parents tell their kids to look for razors in their candy. If you're trick-or-treating this Halloween, don't go to Ed's house. Or do. Free knives. Just kidding. Ed, that's freaking hilarious. Craig Vincent, he's got his customary bunch of knives. He's got the Spyderco Manix 2XL. He's got the Frenzy, the Ritter Hogue, the Mangana Steel Kaimano, the Armiger 4, the Spectre, and I am not, apparently I can't read good. He's got a lot. He carries knives that I'm not super familiar with. I mean, aside from the Kaimano and the Ritter Hogue. Very nice though, man. I respect a carry like that. Ooh, Jim's by the water again today. Look at that shot. Jim already knows I like the water shots in the background. He's got the CDC Hansen XL, the regular CDC Hansen, which is or I guess that's the County Com collab. And wait, he's he's put this on his pocket checks for the longest time. It's the Artisan Sea Snake. Hanson Warncliffe XL. County Com collab. Yeah, Artisan Sea. I got it. Someone give me a scratch and sniff sticker right now. I got it. That's a fantastic shot, Jim. Thanks for sharing, man. Grateful Dong with the MBK Saber Tooth. Really like that. That looks good. B Devious, he's got the Manix 2 Lightweight 15V in the original GOAT scales. And if I remember, B, you've been sitting on those scales for a hot minute, right? Waiting for the 15V, the Lightweight Manix 2 and 15V to release for months. Bet it feels good now that you can finally put those scales on there, right? And then, of course, he's got the Micro Jimbo also in 15V. That's one hell of a carry. Love that. 747, he's got Ty from Taiwan, the Quiet Carry Drift LCT, and the dressed up Sage Rex 121. It's a thing of beauty. Both of those knives. Are you kidding me? I need to get one of those LCTs. I totally intended to, and then this happened. Oh, completely intended to. Something always gets in the way. Always. John Blackman, he's got the Bodacious in Spy 27. Very nice. Like that. Fred the Lug says, I took this out to play with during the stream in your honor. Ooh, the Machine Wise Sonora. It's on my list. I need to get my hands on one. I want one. The one that I want one of their plain Jane ones with the diamond texturing. I mean, let's keep it real. They all look good. Have you guys seen that Transparent Knives has been doing some regrinds on some Machine Wise blades? If you haven't seen that, go follow my friend Brian, aka Transparent Knives, on Instagram and check out the regrinds he's been doing for Machine Wise. Apparently they sent him some that had some blemishes, and not only is he getting rid of the blemishes, he's making them look even better. Wicked Dream coming in hot with the Nefarious. There we go. Talk about a nice deep hollow grind. Look at the hollow grind on that. So good. And a nice shot. Thanks for sharing, man. Bob Tism, he's got the Wolverine, which is basically like a smaller saber tooth. A lot of people are telling me that they prefer the smaller size on these, that they prefer the Wolverine over the saber tooth. The blade shape apparently makes more sense in the smaller form factor. Now, Monterey Bay Knives does not disclose who they use for their overseas OEM. But when I see a milling pattern like this, it immediately makes me think that it's got to be artisan. It's got to be artisan cutlery. It has to be. Not that that's a good or a bad thing. That's just immediately what came to my mind. Rene Ramon, he's got those are both Keennison knives, aren't they? All three of those might actually be Keennison designs. I know this one's... I know he names all of his knife models after dogs. Which one is it? I have failed. It's a complete wipe. Renee! Sweet knives, bro. My mind is blank. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time identifying. At the very least, I should know this one. I should know that one. Says, oh, that's cool. You remember, Rollo. Those OG scales are currently sold out. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised in the slightest. Drinkwater's got a full track. That's on my grail list this year. Drinkwater has a Hinderer full track warning, specifically the warning. That one's on my grail list this year. I have to get one. I have to. But every time they've been released, sold out. The Hinderer fans have finally let the rest of us have an XM18, and they're like, oh, that's cute. Hey, he just released a Hinderer full track warning. But too bad. That's awesome, by the way. I am envious. I need one of those. I mean, I don't need one. Let's be real. I want one. He also has a Spyderco McBee, and it's also a Wharncliffe. He's coming in hot on Wharncliffe Wednesday. It is very much overshadowed by this awesome Hinderer full track, if I'm being honest, though. Jim's got, he says, guess, Mr. Knife Dude. It's a Kershaw. Well, the one that I had was called the Kershaw Needs Work. I'm guessing this one is the Kershaw Has Work. Is it an assisted flipper? Help me out, Jim. It's been years since I carried a Kershaw. That looks like an older model too. TC Blades, he's got the Olatans 64 Shillin Cutter in Ultim and the EMP EDC Relative in MagnaCut and Thai Hardware. Ooh, talk about a nice shot. So TC, as far as I'm aware, actually does photography. Apparently he's actually a professional photographer. Shots like this really showcase that. That's a beautiful shot. Everything that he wants in focus is in focus. He's got a beautiful vignette. Got some good vignetting going on there. Nice shot, dude. EMP EDC Relative, the clip point, always beautiful. Love that. All right, guys, and believe it or not, we are at the bottom of the pocket check. And I'm just going to do this again so nobody thinks that I skipped over anything. Going to make sure that I got all of them. I don't think I missed anybody. We got them all. Guys, we got all the pocket checks. Hot damn. All right. I missed so much in the chat. We're going to go check out the chat now. It's the Nefaris. The wee Nefaris. It's close to the Nefarious. The wee Nefaris. I should have known that. As I spill my ice water all over my pants. Keeping a straight face while that happened was fun. All right. Ryan Johnson says Mojave might be my favorite knife, period. It's so good. And you know what? When I released my initial thoughts on it, people love to tell you when you're like, this is the super ultra hyper grail knife killer. People are quick to line up who have never experienced it and be like, not my knife. This would never be better than my Holt Haptic or my Medford 187 or my blah, 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 blah. And you know, it's not that I have an issue with people disagreeing. It's that I have an issue with people who have never handled it disagreeing. Like, it's one thing if you handle both knives and you say, yes, I like this knife better than this knife. That is called an informed opinion. It's when people look at it and they watch a video and they're like, nope, Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose. Stop it. Oh man. Like I have now handled several knives in that category. And I've got to say the Mojave is winning that category for me so far. And it's not to say that like for example, I mentioned that I would, if I could only pick one and I had to pick one or the other, I would take the Mojave over the Cortex XL. That doesn't mean that I would ever sell my Cortex XL or that I dislike it for some reason. Mojave is really, really hard to beat. Every time I handle a knife now, I'm like, well, how smooth is the action? I always compare it to that. I'm like, not smoother than Mojave. It's like slipping on black ice. Anyways, there's some cool stuff going on, guys. And I know some people are not a big fan of the whole window shopping during live streams. Bear with me, okay? Just do it. I love kickstop knives. And if you also love knives that have the Lee Williams kickstop, there's been a release today. NC Blade has them, I think, as well. The Tashi Krypton. Yeah, and there's a large size and a small size, and they're in stock. These are so freaking cool. They're not cheap. If I'm not mistaken, I do think that Riot is the OEM, but check it out. You can get it with different inlays. Like this has got to be carbon fiber. Slotted handle scales. So it says kickstop in the slot. L-Max says kickstop. The action on these looks really good. Beautiful hand satin finish. Harpoon Tanto. It's a good looking knife. It's a really good looking knife. Is that fuller accessible? Maybe. It's a hard maybe. Leaning more towards probably not, but you know what? You never know. Something that I really like is a lot of Tashi Barucha, a lot of Tashi's knives don't have a sharpening choil, but in this case, it looks like he actually gave them one. He just kind of cut off the edge bevels. Like, you know what? Sharpen that. Talk to me about no sharpening choil. Look at that. But these are really, really cool. This, of course, is the red dark matter inlay. $425. Gorgeous freaking knife. It's 8.5 inches long, 3.6 inch blade. Of course, titanium, carbon fiber. L-Max steel, 5.4 ounces. And they've got all the different options. Like you can get it in like a full dress and a half dress. You can get it in these black PVD handles with the blue, with like a full inlay right there. That looks kind of cool. I wish it was DLC, but it's not. You can get it with Timascus inlays, $475. Still with the hand satin. Look at that. And this is the small one. So the big one is 8.5 inches. The small one is 7.5 inches, which I think is, the small one might be the way to go. 8.5 might be too large. 7.5 might be perfect, depending upon who's measuring. I'm going to leave that one alone today. It looks like an integral, but it's not. That's a clamshell design. I know someone was going to ask me that question, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. It looks like an integral. It's not. That is a clamshell design. That's why it has the seam there. There's no way they could fit a kickstop on an integral in there. There's no way. There's no way. Maybe there is a way. I like clamshells. Clamshell designs are awesome. You get all the benefits of an integral without all the pain in the rear. I was going to say they're less expensive, but obviously that's not the case. It's not the case. Of course, the one with the zirconium inlays is sold out already. Of course. Of course. Mick Ranger, what's up, Mick? Good to see you, brother. Welcome in. Dolomite says, anyone catch Laren Thomas's new video about MagnaCut heat treatment and corrosion resistance? I didn't watch it. I didn't have time while I was working today, but I did see his like snippet of his thumbnail on Instagram. And apparently we all had it wrong. And we all thought that it had better corrosion resistance at lower HRC, but apparently that's not true. Or at least that's what his thumbnail implies, is that you don't actually lose corrosion resistance at higher Rockwell. I still need to watch the video. I just haven't had time today. Time is at a premium right now again. All right. I'm scrolling down to the bottom of the chat. Dolomite says, are some of you photographers or something? Some good photos in there. I am an amateur at best. You could call me a hobbyist. I've gotten progressively better at taking photos than I used to be. I'm not a professional by any stance. But some of the photos that people are posting in the pocket checks, like TC Blades, I think TC Blades is an actual professional photographer, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know about... like Vavelsky and Matt D, but they both take fantastic photos as well. I know that there is a few professional photographers in the Only Spartans Discord. I believe one of the Eds, Ed Durbin, in the Only Spartans Discord, also a professional photographer. So we've got a couple. We've got a couple, guys. Don't beat yourself up. Like I'm in there with the Mickey Mouse cutter, like, you know, smartphone videos for my pocket check. So it's not like I'm going super fancy on the pocket checks either. All right, I'm dropping down to the very end of the chat. I'm catching up. Top Dog says, I'm thinking more likes would be legit in this situation. Guys, Spartan, kick that like button. Let you two know that we're live. I would greatly appreciate that. Especially if you're on if you're in the replay club, if you watch this live stream on replay, let me know in the comments section. Please do it for me. I would definitely appreciate that. BCJ, what's up? What's up, BCJ? BCJ says, that's about the same price I paid for my Wii Integral. Yeah. So kickstop knives are always going to be more expensive because whoever's releasing that knife has to pay Lee Williams his due. The Lee Williams kickstop is a mechanism that is licensed directly from Lee Williams. So not only do they have to pay, you know, for the knife to be produced, but they also have to pay the licensing fee on each and every single knife using that mechanism. So it's a big expenditure to put a Lee Williams kickstop mechanism on a knife. That's why when the Redemption 229 kickstop was released, it was over $400. That's why when this is released, it's over $400. You know, that doesn't shock me. Now, the good news is that they did give us some really premium materials like carbon fiber, zirconium, Timascus. This is not an integral design by virtue of they cut a seam down the back. I would not be surprised to learn that this was actually initially a single piece of titanium. Couldn't tell you that for certain. Don't know for sure, but I have a hunch. Let's read up a little bit on this. Nope. Man, they had an opportunity to really go in on this knife description, and they gave us bare minimum. So it's a self-branded Tashi Baruka small krypton or large krypton. Inlays are not cheap to do. That material is not cheap. Contouring is not cheap. Milling is not cheap. This knife, hand satin finish, like that's done by hand, guys. Hand satin finish, obviously done by hand, not cheap. Licensing the kickstop, not cheap. You get the picture. I want one. It's knives like this that make it hard to get a quiet carry LCT. This one would be the easiest. I already know what half of you are saying. Half of you are like, damn it, it's got speed holes. 375. 375. I feel like that's fair. 375. Yeah. No inlays, right? No inlays. Still get the hand satin finish. Still get the kickstop. But this one has speed holes. The large version with speed holes, 400. Timascus inlays. Wait, why is that one? Is that because that's the large? The one which is hard for me to pass up is this one. The large with the dark matter red inlays. $425. That's the one I want. It's the one that I want. Baptism says, what is this? A choil for ants? I see your Zoolander reference. Kodiak says, Rollshambo, you want to see one of my Buck 110 mods? Sure. Where do I see it? Fred says, I have a few custom Lee Williams. They are unbelievable. I will be going to Kick Shop to make my own soon. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Says Tashi is an expensive maker too. Yeah. Dolomite says, I just got a Sonora and had to hold back on Saturday's drop. Don't hold back. Just get one. You know what they say, buy ones, cry ones. Just do it. Says Pocket Check added late. Let's go back. Let's go back. All right, Double D. He's got a couple American Blade Works. He's got the Model 2 and the American Blade Works slip joint. Solid. Nice photo. Great carry, sir. I definitely appreciate that. I still need to experience the slip joint. I've experienced the Model 2. I like it. I feel like the Model 2 has a few things that could be, they're not bad, and they're definitely not deal breakers. I would prefer it if the detent on the kickstop was earlier. It's got a late detent, meaning that it doesn't, when you go to close it, you have to get it past the detent ramp. And that's one of the few things that I did not like about the Model 2. It's a great knife. I like it. American Blade Works does a really, really good heat treat. Probably because they do a cryo treat. And they're one of the best values in American made knives, especially if you like titanium. But I feel like Mike Martin is almost there with the Model 2. He just needs to tweak just a few things and it would really, really be incredible. Like earlier detent and changing the detent ball material to actually, I feel like the detent ball material on those American Blade Work knives is not ceramic. For some reason it just feels that way. Or the geometry or the size of the detent ball could be bigger. I feel like the interaction between the detent ball and the tang of the blade could be smoother on American Blade Work knives. Is that making sense? They're awesome knives. They're amazing knives. I really like them. I feel like Mike Martin with American Blade Works is this close to utter perfection. But I like both of those. Frankie Cheech, what's up? Gas Station Knife says, I love fast knives. Fast knives? Is there a Knives Fast in the chat? Knives Fast? Are you out there? Knives Fast? Maybe not. Neil McKenzie, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Welcome in. Says DLT is dropping them soon at 800 retail. What? 1200 for mini Arius is a rip. Okay, well, it depends on the mini Arius. If it's like a style 55, or for some reason they price their Arius models that have a full carbon fiber side, they price them a bit higher. I'm not entirely sure why, but DLT, let's see. DLT drops coming soon. Somebody mentioned that these are going to be advertised on their new arrivals second page. Oh, look, they also have the Tashi Baruka knives. Very cool. And the Noel Raiden. Ooh. July 23rd, Noel Raiden, 350. There's so much heat that's releasing right now. Everyone's going wild over the Vandal. Hot take on the Vandal. I actually don't like the look of the Vandal. Like, I'm sure it's an amazing knife, but I cannot do it on an expensive knife if the aesthetics aren't there for me. Like, I'm sure the Vandal is a great cutter. I'm sure that it has amazing action. I'm sure that it's very well made and the tolerances are all there. None of that matters if I don't like the look. The Vandal is my least favorite looking Knoll knife. The Raiden I would take over that. The Grace, the Raikou, the Voodoo, of course. But for some reason, the Vandal, I'm just not a huge fan of the way the Vandal looks. And I know that's an unpopular opinion because people are going bananas over that right now. And I know some of you guys are like, are you kidding? I love the way that looks. The Vandal doesn't do it for me. I'm actually more excited about the release of a Raiden R2 on DLT. Like, that's really cool to me. Might have to pick one of these up. I thought I'd missed out on these for forever. Ooh. That's a cool one. Look at that. Yeah, $325 for that guy. Ooh. Is there anybody out there who's like me, who's like, you know what, I'm not a big fan of the Vandal? And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, we'll just go check it out. And I'm not trying to bring down, anybody who's a fan of the knife that I'm about to show. I'm just curious, like, how unpopular is my opinion? It might be very unpopular. So this knife does not do it for me aesthetically. Like the handle scales, like the pocket clip, that's very voodoo-esque. But there's something about this snub but pointy nose with this harpoon swedge here at the front. Like, it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me. Like I said, I'm sure this knife is extremely well made. I'm sure it comes with all the greatest tolerances known to mankind. I'm sure that's a very slicey, hollow ground edge. I'm sure that as far as knives go, it's a great knife. But the aesthetic does not do it for me. I can't help it. I just don't like the way it looks. Like, I think all the other Knoll knives are better looking. Let me know in the chat, guys, how unpopular is my opinion. It's probably really unpopular. Mike and Ike's EDC, thanks for being a channel member for 10 months.
This is Sparta!
He says, favorite everyday item you use, not have to be EDC. Favorite EDC everyday item, doesn't have to be everyday carry. Favorite everyday item. Well, let's do this. Because my favorite everyday item is going to be a knife. I love carrying a knife every single day. And I feel positively naked when I don't have one on me. Have you guys ever done that? You go to the store for something and the store is like a mile away. You get halfway there, realize that you don't have a knife in your pocket and turn around. That's me. I start to feel insecure without my security blanket, aka, my pocket knife. But you were just going there for milk. So my favorite everyday item does not have to be everyday carry. I mean, it's going to be a tight race. If we exclude knives, it's either got to be my skeleton automatic watch by a company called Aonic, or quite honestly, I'm a tech guy. I'm a big fan of my Samsung S24 Ultra. It's not even the newest version, and I'm still a huge fan of it. So my favorite everyday non-knife item, my watch or my smartphone. Bob Tism says many areas is on the new release page. Yeah, page 2, right? I got blown off course. I'm heading back. I know. New release coming soon. Page 2. Page 2. Or is it the new arrivals? I think that's what it was. New arrivals. Page 2. Hinder Eclipse Skinny Hollow Ground Slicer. I've been hearing good things about that. There it is. $805. Do they have a flippered elite version? I don't think so. The Plexa pattern. The Plexa pattern. That's kind of crazy. All right, I'm going to clear the message. I've got to say, getting a mini goblin did not cure my thirst for more Koenig knives. It did not cure my thirst for more Koenig knives. I'm not sure how I feel about the Plexa pattern, though. It's a new pattern for them. This is something I always get hung up on with the Arius. Do I wish that it was a flippered elite version or not? It's 7 1/4 inches long, so 7 1/4. It's a 3-inch blade. It's right there in my EDC wheelhouse. Like for some people look at the mini goblin, which is, you know, pretty similar in size, and they say, oh, that's too small. For me, I really like it. The mini goblin's right there at the 7-inch mark, roughly. The mini Arius is a little bit longer. Do I really want to have a flipper delete or not? That's something I always get hung up on. But this has got to be a newer pattern for them. Because I know the Corda pattern. I know the standard pattern. I haven't seen the Plexa pattern. But it's M390 on this one. Not 20 CV, M390. This one's a little less expensive, at least, with the silver accents. This is something I never get. Why do you pay more for the blue accents with Koenig? Surely the Anno is not worth an extra $35, right? Surely. Like, what's the difference aside from the hardware? Is it just the hardware? I've never been able to figure that out. What else is new? Yeah. Anyways, these are dropping July 24th. July 24th, 7 days, 11 hours, and 38 minutes. Or 10 a.m. Central Time, which is 8 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Mountain, or 11 a.m. Eastern. There we go. Bob Tism says, yep, the Vandal is ugly. Thank you. I know I knew I wasn't the only one. Jim says, Arius does not need that flipper. This is apparently very highly debated. You know what? Let's go ahead and put a quick poll in the chat, okay? Koenig Arius is best with flipper, no flipper, or I like rocks. Poll is in the chat, guys. Let me know. Koenig Arius is best with the flipper, with no flipper, or I like rocks. I'm curious because this is a highly debated topic. Flipper, no flipper. What is it? I've heard it both ways. I've heard that some people say that the Koenig Arius is best as a flipper. But you got to tell me. Paul Mills says $100 Jason Grant knife, a cheap bit set, and $30. What are we talking about? Oh, I see. Says, I've got the plain titanium mini Arius. I had Terry at 1931 Leatherworks carve dragon scales on it. What? That's cool. Says, love that knife. I'll never get rid of it. Keeper. Paul, you gotta get in on the Only Spartans Discord. You're a channel member. Show us that on the Only Spartans Discord. We gotta see. It says, when in doubt, delete the flipper. All right. Well, let's see. We're a minute in, 26 votes. So far, winning the race is no flipper. 42% say no flipper. 38% say flipper. 19% say I like rocks. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Now it's at a 41% split. This is what I'm talking about. Like, the community can't make up its mind. You just, if I was to get one of these, I couldn't make up my mind. Dolomite says, anyone in the chat know if the bottom on a bottom lock should be lubed? Bottom lock? You mean button lock? If the bottom of a button lock should be lubed where it comes into contact with the blade. I think you mean button lock, and I'm going to say this. Do not lubricate the plunge barrel. Don't do it. You will create lock stick. You will create lock stick. It is not worth it. Do not lubricate the plunge barrel of the button lock where it contacts the blade. Don't do it. Yeah, I'm just going to say that. Don't do it. Yeah, button. Okay, cool. I did guess it correctly. Yeah. Do not lubricate the plunge barrel. Jim says, Paul Mills, what did that run you? Would like to have him do that on my Aurelia. Oh, I see. Yeah, everyone's going to be hitting up 1931 Leatherworks now. Matt, what's up, Matt? Have you been here the whole time? Good to see you, Matt. Ryan Johnson says, there is no downside to keeping the flipper, in my opinion. I think it kind of depends on what you like, right? You know, like for me, the Koenig Mini Goblin is one of those knives that I actually think they really could have put a thumb stud on, but it's flipper only. I don't mind that. This is one of the snappiest flipper actions. It's stupidly snappy. Love it. So I like a good flipper action. I really do. Electricity ain't cheap. Says it should have the screwable flipper like Lion Steel, or like Remet. Remet has the new Remet Two-Face recent. It's my last review that I posted was like 5 days ago. It's on the Remet Two-Face, and it has the removable flipper tab. It's an Osho design, but not only can you remove the flipper tab, and this is where people got it twisted. They're like, oh, Lion Steel already did that. But on the Lion Steel, you can't take that flipper and make the knife a front flipper. That's the difference. But I agree. I would love it if we had more flipper tabs that were removable. That'd be great. Oh, okay. Very good, man. Hey, family time is important. Family time is definitely important. Matt Maurer, what's up? He says, anything with the flipper is automatically better. Fred says, get the Shark Nivco Mini Goblin. No flipper, just stud. Those are not cheap. Those are not easy to get at all. Let's see. Where would I go if I wanted to get one? Maybe does Arizona Custom Knives have one? I know they tend to upcharge on their knives, but they usually have a lot of knives that are just not available anywhere else. Shark Nivco. It's Eddie Barajas, for those who don't know. Shark Nivco Mini Goblin. Did I spell Shark Nivco right? Shark Nivco Goblin? Is it just the Goblin? What about just Shark Nivco? All right. Here we go. It's Koenig. That's Koenig. I mean, Shark Nivco knives are expensive in general. But all of the goblins out there, at least on this side, are the Koenigs. Oh, here we go. Mini Goblin. $1,500 sold out. Yeah. Now, I have seen videos where people have compared the Koenig Mini Goblin, this guy, to the Sharknivko Mini Goblin, and they say quite astutely that they are completely separate knife models. So I kind of want one. I really kind of want one. They're never cheap. They're never cheap. Like that one was $1,500. $1,500 when it was sold brand new. B. Devious says, if skiff made blades would ever do a non-flipper, would even be harder to score. Oh man. Fred says, I have a Sharknivko Mini Goblin that I don't use. I can put it on the Discord if you want. Put it on the Discord, Fred. Show me what you're working with. Put it in the pocket check. I got to see this thing. I got to see it, Fred. Show us the Mini Goblin. Show us the Mini Goblin. We'll wait. Says, kind of reminds me of the Vespertio by Herman. I don't know if I would say, I don't know. I don't think it looks like it, but that's just me. Here we go. Ooh, he's got a couple. He's got a Waka, and that is a Waka, right? I think so. And the Sharknivko Mini Goblin. What was the damage on the Mini Goblin? What was the damage on the Mini Goblin, Fred? How like, if you don't mind me asking, I'm guessing that was somewhere in the realm of 1 to 2,000. Am I in the right ballpark? I hope so. Ed B says, Insta likes to hide knife people. It's true. They really do. Instagram is not a great place for the knife community in general. It's not knife community friendly. B. Devious says, all Sharknivkos are badass, but you can't disassemble without the tool. That's the only thing keeping me from purchasing. I still want one. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Don't they sell that tool separately, though? Says, yes, you are in the ballpark. Hot damn! Love it. Love it. You know, another awesome knife that requires a special tool. It's on my grail list, and I always forget about it because I almost never have an opportunity to buy one. The Blaurock blades. Blaurock blades. BRB4? BRB3? Are you kidding me? I reviewed one. They're always sold out, though. Like, I never see these on the website. It seems like the guy that runs this, he does a lot of lotteries, I think, on his Facebook page. But people, if you want to know what's really good out there, look for what people never sell. People never sell these knives on the secondary. I almost never see them pop up on the secondary. I reviewed one, and I hurt me physically to pass it on to the next guy. It physically hurt. RWL 34, 62 to 63. We got the 3D milling lines on that blade. The finish work is excellent. Really, really freaking good. I enjoyed the BRB4 that I reviewed. It was very nice. I very much enjoyed it. But these are almost never freaking available on the secondary market. It's super high on my list. It's on my top 5 list. I would say it's more unobtainium than I don't know, man. So Fred, you just sold it. Why? Says they just came out with the BRB5. Where? I missed it. BRB4. Oh, here it is. Nope. That's just the Style 5. BRB5? How come it's not showing here? Maybe it's on his Instagram. It better be. It better be. Let's see. Come on, Instagram. GDC.con in Germany. June and Blade Show. Is one of these the BRB5? Interesting. I don't know what I'm looking at. You guys are going to have to help me out. It says, I like the BRB3 better than the BRB4 that I had. It kept getting my finger caught on the flipper area. Interesting. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and call it right there. I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you popping in for another awesome Wednesday Live. So, round of applause to you. Guys, I want to get more people in the audience involved in things like pocket checks. I want to do it in a way that's fair to existing channel members who are channel members because they want to be part of the membership community. Totally support that. I also want to make it so that we can all share in this hobby together in a way that doesn't put that at risk. So I think I'm going to come up with a hashtag for pocket checks for Instagram. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll announce that hashtag on my YouTube community page. I'll announce it. I'll probably let it be known in a maybe a YouTube short. I'll figure out how to get the information out there. The next live stream will, of course, be on Saturday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 p.m. Central, which is 7 p.m. Pacific. I hope to see you all soon in the Only Spartans Discord. And if you're not there, I totally understand. Guys, have a great rest of your week, and it's strong. We'll see you on Saturday. See ya.